Ciao ragazzi! Welcome back if you are familiar with being here, and also welcome if you are new. Adrian. I am living in Cape Coral, Florida, gardening in zone 10A, and I'm a new 10A gardener. About 4 years ago we moved here, and before that I was a zone 3B, 4, depending on whatever map you're looking at. We were gone for 3.5 weeks up north visiting family, and the garden has gone wild. I thought before I do a lick of any work, I will do we'll call it the wild summer solstice, just a tiny bit past, 8 days past summer solstice, so it's June 28th, and show you how nuts it is and how much work I have ahead of me. But I don't mind because I actually love being in the garden, and sorry about squinting, it is bright out here and eyes are now used to Minnesota sun, not Florida sun. Let's go take a look. I think it's so fun and it's just wild and crazy, like crazy. And I will splice in here footage from arriving yesterday of our pool, and we have some new guests. All right, we got home. Eddie just turned the pool. Apparently it was not running. And I failed to take the video of this, but all of these ducks were just swimming in the pool. No fear in their world. I'll show you the photo. They're still here, don't care. Haven't let Carol out yet. She will not be pleased to see them. Are you guys not afraid? Mama, you might want to get them out of here. If I go get Carol, you're gonna need to run. I can't guarantee you that you'll keep safe. Just living your best life. I mean, I don't mind you eating the bugs, but I can guarantee you the dog's not going to like you. She's already not very pleased. She could not come out because I didn't want her to run or jump to get the ducks and jump in the gross pool. Do you think it wasn't running because of it was so, the filter because it was clogged? Okay. That's what I was asking. Well, I don't doubt it. I'm sure it's a cesspool of disgustingness. Ugh. Actually, I could probably put it in my thing and rinse it in there. Well, as long as I'm over here. So I came home and these two were tipped over, so they look sad. These two look fine. Look at the weeds. Like, did I even have whatever this black stuff is? No. Looks like I've done nothing. On other news, look how huge the powder puff tree is. That's going to need a little bit of a trimming as well. I don't even know what that is down there. Oh, they're back! They're back! Look it. It's like they're like, this is our home. What are you talking about? We just put chemicals in there. You don't want to drink that. This is no longer an organic pool. Sorry, ducks. Yep, Mom, you might want to have them leave. There's all kinds of chlorine that just got dumped in there, and some acid. Don't be drinking that. Not good for you. Look at them. We haven't even been home, so I don't even know how they are not afraid of people, but they clearly are not afraid. Literally 5 feet in front of me. And now they're all going to clean themselves and wiggle their butts. Ooh, the plumeria has grown a ton. Also, it feels like 101 out here, so sweating. God, I don't know what that is, but some sort of like fern-looking thing. And they were not afraid of us at all. All right, let's take a peek at the front garden, which is going to be newly named, well, it's not really that big a deal, but the parterre. So the French garden is called a parterre, where they've got different sections to it, and that's basically what my garden is in the front. I thought about doing the Italian version because I am learning Italian. However, that's literally just Italian garden, oh my gosh, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong on camera. I'm not gonna be able to do it. It'll pop into my head while we're walking around and then I'll just spew it out, okay? Okay. Giardino Italiano. I thought of it as I was walking out here. So, here is the absolutely bonkers front. This is the easement that I have planted in, but also the torpedo grass has gone and taken over, and the scorpion tail, that's that kind of lighter green in the middle with the little white things, those are a native plant that have reseeded themselves. I'm not mad about that. In the front, which you cannot tell, is like a little lower hedge. That is a golden creeper. That's also a native. And then the little flowers are weeds, which I'm not mad about them, honestly. I think they look kind of pretty. But the light green, I'll try to get a little closer, that like grass looking stuff, that's the torpedo grass, and that stuff is horrendous. So that's what I'm going to need to get in there and weed out. Before I left, I had done a little bit of pruning on this side on the yellow creeper. So this is like a little more hedgy like. It's a low hedge, obviously. But that has just been, look at that, all that tall grass back there. That's all the crappy grass that has gone to seed that I do not want. We've also got some of the black-eyed Susan, Rudbeckia, that also has self-seeded, which I'm not mad at. And then up front here, I had planted, and it looks like only 2 of them have kept that chartreuse color, a variety of sedum. I thought that would take over a little bit more, but it has not. So up front, to do, get rid of the torpedo grass, and I had also recently trimmed down the cocoa plum, and I just missed the summer solstice. You're supposed to trim like for size pruning on the summer solstice, your trees and bushes and such. It's only 8 days later, and actually this one down here just grows nonstop, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm going to come in and get that under control as well. The little walkway path is pretty much non-existent. Look at how amazing oh no. This is what happens when you're gone and then you're not going to remember the name of it. That vine up there I will put on the screen that I'm not remembering, but that is growing great. We missed the blooming on that. It's got its yellow jessamine. Also a native. The path is extremely overrun, again with the torpedo grass. And then the perennial peanut, which is the little yellow flowers, that is a native ground cover. That I am good with that taking over because I want that, and that's what I'm actually growing behind there. So I'm going to need to clear out, let me back up again. I'm going to need to clear out this particular scorpion tail because it is in the walkway where it should not be, even though it's very pretty. And then look, the circle in the middle is, oh my gosh. I think I'm going to need to come around the other way for you to be able to really see how bad that is, but wow. Let's come around the other way. But for size, I'm literally standing next to it. That's how big the cocoa plum hedge is right now. I will say that all of the native bees and little butterflies and stuff are in heaven. When you come up the side here by the driveway, you can see, again, these are native that I had planted one plant and they have self-seeded everywhere. Not mad at that. Oh, right here you can see the chartreuse. Those 3 stuck. And then in here before I left, I had planted from seed my Floret Farms celosia and some of the zinnias. Unfortunately, the zinnias didn't live. I had started to hook up my drip irrigation, which is brand new over here, but the ground had no covering on it before I left, and I think it was just too sandy. So you can see those two big ones, two celosias, managed to live, and these are the babies, I guess the children of the seeds that I grew last year. So last year these were the raspberry something or another from Floret Farms, and these are the seeds that grew or that came from those plants. So technically this year I can name these. We're going to see if they come back as that beautiful raspberry color, or if they come back a different, entirely different. Who knows? They're going to be Florida tolerant now that they have had a season, and then I can save the seeds from these ones, and then next year they'll be even more Florida tolerant. So that is really cool, and that was, I think, what their intention was with the Floret Farm seeds, was that you would take them and get them accustomed to wherever you're at, since they were originally or are in Washington State. Very different growing. Very different growing. In here to do all of the green, minus the green back there with the yellow flowers on it, that's all weeds. I need to weed it, and then I need to come back in with a beep ton of mulch. The rose that I planted, that is having a lovely, beautiful show. This is technically some type of red. I could not find the label. I was not ever able to figure out the name once I lost that darn label when we bought it about a month ago, but it has blooms all over it. I see 0 disease on it, so clearly it's happy right here, and it probably is happy because of the weeds, some of the weeds around it, but we want to make her more of a show. Isn't it pretty? It's very magenta-like, I would say. Maybe magenta / fuchsia? Definitely not red. I wouldn't call it red. It's definitely in the pink family for me. And then behind it, the pathway with the Hawaiian tea plants and the Schefflera, which also needs to be trimmed into its more hedge-like state. Is growing like crazy. Same with that one over there. I lost the few on this right side, so I need to come in and plant some there. This is one of those areas where the parterre garden really shows. So like this section down here will be a kind of a walled in section, and then over here this is another like kind of walled in section, and as I walk I'll show you further. That is a lemon tree which has never bore me any fruit. Not cool. Walk down the magical path. No. Sorry. I forgot to feed the dog. I got so excited about coming outside. Anyway, up here, the muscadine grapes are doing amazing. They already are turned purple. So I think I'm going to have to come out here and harvest these. They're very tiny. I don't know if that's how big they're supposed to be or if it's just because it's the first season. But they look awesome. Pretty pumped about that. I did have honeysuckle on this, but it died. So that's a bummer. Over here, so this is the perennial peanut ground cover that I do want. It's pretty aggressive, so you do have to be careful of that. Over here, literally, you can't even tell that I have like a garden bed there. There's still a there we go. Kale, I can't believe that's still living. That stalk was a broccoli that I cut just to see what it would do. And I'm not sure what that is. That looks like another broccoli that's somehow there. Hidden amongst the green is my David Austin Vanessa Bell Rose, but also looking really good with all the rain we've had. And also pretty disease resistant. So I gotta say, for all the weeds, I think they're helping keep anything that might wanna, I take that back. There are some bites on it, but not that much, honestly. I don't do any spraying, so there's that. And then over here, I'll show you a picture of when I got here, there was a huge watermelon, oh my gosh, pineapple on one of these pineapple plants, and I harvested that because it was literally like tipping over. It was right on that one. You can see where I harvested it from. And then if we spin around here, barely visible is the next pathway that I am in process of. I'm in process of moving all these concrete edging from the side over to here to use that as my garden bed, if you will. Look at here, we missed this pineapple. This is gonna have to go in the compost. Also, look at all the weeds around my lemon tree. If we pan around here, look at the flowers that I planted though, they look great. These are just some annuals I got at Lowe's or at Home Depot. I don't remember. There's another pineapple that's ready to be harvested. These are now the great grandchildren of the grocery store pineapples that I planted. Look at this. You can't even see where there is a circle in the middle there and where the garden edge is. Another pineapple. It's wild and crazy. It's like a meadow. Let me pan up. Look at how awesome that arch is. That one has the jasmine on it as well as grapes growing in it. It's just a wild, crazy mess. Like, yeah. But I think it's really pretty. Oh, hold on. I don't want to make you dizzy. So in here we've got a desert rose, which some of the leaves are off, but it still has blooms happening. But back here, this one, which is amongst the sunshine mimosa, also a native ground cover, has been eaten to bits. So again, these weeds are winning out on the situation with the caterpillars. Look how pretty. This is a native tea bush. Pollinators love it. If you can see all of the native bees and all kinds of them that are on there. Behind that is a bougainvillea, which has started growing finally. It's one of those that definitely did the sleep, creep, leap. I need to get a trellis built to go across, because the goal is that it will frame in that arch with absolutely gorgeous pink bougainvillea blooms. Ixora needs some work. This can have a mowing in here and be cut back some. Look at the olive tree. That guy also should have had a trim this year, but I think I'm gonna let it go and see if I ever get. I have never had olives on this either. I don't know if it's because I keep cutting it and I keep cutting when they would be blooming, or if it's just not an olive producing olive tree. I am not sure, but it's really pretty. Let's move back over here. Here you can see where I have the start again of moving those concrete edges so that I can have actual garden bed delineation. Look at that. It looks so cool. I know, it probably looks nuts and crazy to you, but I think it's just the neatest thing. All the vines growing together. There's a view from this side. More of those annuals that I had planted. I'm pretty happy with that. And then over here you can see my extremely sad attempt at the next pathway. There used to be a lime tree there, it died. These poor pineapples, I don't even know how they're hanging on, because the lawn guys come by and weed whip them. And then going down, the muhly grass is growing like crazy. My dad's rose tree is looking great. If you've been here before, you've heard this, but we brought this rose tree down in our car when we moved down. This was at my dad's celebration of life, and I planted it here. This definitely has some something eating it. You can see all kinds of holes on it, but you do have new growth, so that's good. The jasmine on the wall needs a little bit of training, and my hose needed to be picked up apparently. And also look at all the weeds. Woo! She be real crazy. And that's a big weed growing in the middle of, it looks like corn. Does that not look like corn? Look at that middle thing. Some sort of comb of something. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to look that up. Weird. Anyway, this is a, oh shoot, what is this thing called? Oh, Adrian, come on. Well, the big green thing's a weed, but the other, it's like it's a big form of a lily. The flowers look sort of like a big old dragonfly slash, oh my gosh, look at how pretty that is. Bird. Bird of paradise. There you go. Ding. Sometimes you just got to have word association with your middle-aged brain, I guess. This is a acerola. It's a cherry tree. Native cherries. I do see some flowers on it. Again, this one, poor guy, lives out here in no man's land, and I give it like hardly any care. So that's on me that he's done poorly. And then if we come around to this side, I was hoping maybe I would be surprised by like a watermelon that just grew, but I don't see anything yet. I did have a watermelon plant planted next to that pineapple that is smothered by the perennial peanut and the torpedo grass. Another Vanessa Bell. This is a yellow rose that fades to like a ivory color. Also pretty good. I don't see a ton of pest damage on it. A basil, which is crazy because it's really hot for a basil. And then a broccoli that I just chopped the top off. Same with that one. I don't see any more tomatoes living here. And then look at all the weeds in that circle. Now you can see there is actually an edge that goes around it. It should be the whole thing. If we circle to the back, actually I think I can split these muhly grasses. They're huge. So eventually this will be a pathway. Right now it is a weed pathway with the hose in it, and then a bunch of bugs that are stuck to the side of the house. That's lovely. My banana, I don't currently see that it's shot up any new bananas, but we just entered rainy and hot season, so it might be coming. The Ixora here, I planted these actually when my brother and I brought my dad down, before I knew what native plants were. But they're cute, right? And then Eddie's been working on the pool. We're draining it because it was not running because it was so clogged, so it's too high. And then obviously it's a lovely shade of pea green. Beautiful. And then back here, the muhly grass here is doing awesome. The desert roses, awesome. The hibiscus trees, also awesome. And then look at how huge these plumeria are. They've grown, gosh, they had to have grown a couple of feet already. They're looking thick, and now they look like reindeer antlers in the dry winter season because they lose their leaves, but that's why you want to interplant them with other things. And so this will eventually get planted out with like a wider planting bed, but right now it looks pretty good, I think. Oh, I see an iguana down there I gotta get. Ugh, gross. If you're just new in Florida, iguanas are invasive and disgusting, so don't be like, oh, they're so cute. They're not. They're like the rats of the lizard world. They take over all the good lizards' habitats. They breed and they never return to the same habitat because they're gross. Anyway, right here we're looking at the powder puff tree that has, again, this guy's looking huge. I'm going to need to figure out some sort of taller stake to keep him growing taller because he's just hanging right over. I want him to grow like a tree. They can grow like a tree or a bush. Look at that. Look how tall it is already. So that guy's looking beautiful. And then the project that we left midway through, I had bought these podocarpus before. Podocarpus, did I say that? Yeah, podocarpus. These ones were still standing up. Those were laying down, so they look a little sad. They'll bounce back. The The weed barrier that I had down is totally ripped to shreds. It looks like I had nothing here. Florida is no joke on its growing season. Look at it. It's like, I don't care. Like, legit, don't care that you had stuff here. I don't even know why it's so ripped. Like, who came in here and walked all over it and ripped it? Or did it rip on its own? I have no idea, but it's ridiculous. Like, shredded. And then to finish the tour, let's come up this side. So this right here will eventually all be the sidewalk project that I am still in progress on. And you can see where I had leveled out that big mountain a few episodes ago. That is starting to grow in. Yes, it's weeds, but it's, better than it was. Sidewalk. Yay! I'm happy with it. And then the hibiscus that we planted has grown. That's at least a foot or maybe a foot and a half already. The lawn guys are doing trimming in here, so it's kind of funny that they don't really do my beds because I've asked them not to, but for some reason this one they feel needs to be trimmed. Not mad at that, but just a comment. An observation. And this muhly grass I should have cut back, but now if I cut it back, it will look ugly, so I'm going to have to wait. God, look at that. It's really growing in. How exciting, huh?